Murder.
Chalk outlines.
DNA tests.
Blood.
Anonymous tip.
Beheadings and disembowelments.
Fingerprints.
The yellow tape that they have on crime scenes.
Witness statements.
Stakeouts with my cop friend and we drink coffee. UV lights that they can see on. 5 minutes.
All right, let's get a true crime story in about 5 minutes from Bell.
Don't want to call it too early, but I think you guys will enjoy this one. We are going to the 90s in Texas in the desert. I know that you like your kind of cowboy, outback murders, and I feel like this might
Is that a
fit.
thing that we're known for?
Yeah, I feel like you like all your little, not Godfather-y, but
I think we're about as known for liking cowboy murders as you are for sewing.
That's a deep cut.
You famously said, everyone knows me as a sewer. No, they don't.
Well, I think you'll enjoy this one.
Okay.
There's a few documentaries and drama series and stuff that are called Buried in the Backyard, Death in the Desert. So this is the true story behind all of those. In the 90s in Texas, there was a couple, Gary and Lisa, and they had a child together. Gary and Lisa happily married, and they worked for Lisa's dad, who was a very successful businessman. But sadly, over the years, they did drift apart, and the marriage fell to pieces, and they got a divorce. They did have a back and forth, very long divorce battle with custody and everything, and that's a whole thing in itself. I'm not going to go into that. But let's just say that they weren't on very good terms, the two of them, and trying to fight for custody of their daughter went on a very long time. But eventually they did agree, and Gary, we're going to focus on him, he was starting to kind of look up. He had a good job. He was finding his feet again. He was seeing his daughter here and there. And he actually had an amazing visit from a guy who came to his work and wanted to hire him into an incredible position with a brand new business. So he offered Gary this job, very fine-looking man, and he actually said, we'd love to fly you into another part of El Paso in Texas. Do you guys know that?
Old El Paso. They are famous
very
for
good.
the tacos.
He said, we'll fly you there. You can meet the CEO, and we'll actually, he's got all these perks. It's an amazing job. We think you'd be great for it. He's like, oh my goodness, this is it. This is my fresh start that I need. So he flew a few hours to meet this CEO, and sadly, he was never heard from again, and he was declared a missing person. Obviously, the police got involved. They start looking. They can't find him. It goes on for days. It goes on for months. It goes on for a year. He was missing for a whole year. No one had heard from him after he went to this supposed job interview. Then they start joining the dots, and they were like, well, who is this guy that came and gave Gary this job opportunity? They realized that his name, we'll call him Ted. His name was Ted, and he was actually a criminal. They were trying to track him down for a year, and then they joined even more dots, and turns out he was mates with Lisa's dad, his wife's dad, who he used to work for, very successful businessman. So they're trying to find him, and they were also trying to find Lisa's dad at this point. They were then declared also missing people, and they had done a runner. They zoned in on this part of the desert where they were they got intel that Sam, so Lisa's dad, used this ranch. They literally called it a ranch, which sounds so Texas American.
Like the dressing.
I don't know what that. Ranch. So, yes, like that. But if you just picture a desert, a big farm, all red dirt.
I know what a ranch is.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, Liam thinks it's a sauce. So they go to this ranch, and they bring the dogs sniffing around for all these bones, and they do uncover, eventually, after a very long time, they do uncover a skeleton, and they find a skull. They match it with his dental records, and it is confirmed that it's Gary's body, and it was sadly still dressed in the clothes and everything. It had been there for a whole year. They then eventually, I'm really cutting this short, they do find Sam and Ted, the dad and his business partner. They then grill Ted in the at the police station.
Where'd they find him? At the ranch?
They literally just found them by tracking their flights, and their he was using his twin brother's passport.
Right.
Like I said, that's a whole other thing. We're not going to get into that. They do find them, and then they finally, Ted, after being grilled for hours at the police station, did confess and said, I'll tell you everything that happened. And unfortunately, Lisa was also in on it, his ex-wife, and she organised with her dad to have Gary killed. And the way he was killed was Sam, the dad, took him out in this car, basically said, surprise, you're not here for a job interview, it's me. Shot him in the head. No, sorry, didn't shoot him. Bashed him in the head, buried him alive. And he actually got buried alive out in the desert because they found all dirt and everything in his like lungs and in all of his airways.
Oh.
Very sad. And obviously he got put away for life. And the Ted guy only got like 17 years. And Lisa, the ex-wife, she only served 5 years.
Wow.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say that I am fully on board with being a cowboy enthusiast, but it was a good one. I liked
Yeah.
it.
There's a lot that I had to cut out.
I
but
thought
yeah.
it was pretty straight up and down. I'm
Yeah.
not
Let
not
me guess. From the
critiquing.
start, you were like, "Oh, it was the dad."
Well, yeah. I mean, I was just expecting a big twist, and I was like, but it was like, oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's annoying because like when
I was just
looking
like,
up, I was
we can all see what's happened here, right?
I just thought maybe there's going to be more lassoing with the cowboy stuff,
I was expecting
Yeah.
some sort of
like spur to the neck.
or there was a vulture maybe at some point.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't
the
know,
way
or a
that they just-
standoff. That would have been cool.
if you do look this up, like the people involved, the photos of them, and then like the ranch, and like they had like big like old trucks that they're driving around, and they did find other bodies on that ranch as well. But
Yeah,
I feel
right.
like now you're trying to throw things in.
yeah, I know. But,
You're like, and there was big cars.
mate,
and
when you got 5 minutes, I couldn't even go into like the whole interrogation part. But anyway.
No, good stuff, Belle. See you in the next one.
And that's it.
Liked that podcast? There's heaps more to listen to if you just scroll back or download the Nova Player app.
Ben, Liam, and Bell.